Narcissists have their reasons why they leave their victims feeling lost and isolated. And honestly, it's not by accident. If you've ever been caught in a relationship with a narcissist, you know the feeling all too well. One minute, everything seems fine, and the next, you're left questioning your thoughts, feelings, and sense of reality. Narcissists have a way of making you feel invisible, like your needs don't matter, or worse, like you're the problem. Over time, this leaves their victims feeling alone, confused, and disconnected from everyone, even themselves. Today, we are going to explore why narcissists behave this way and how their tactics lead to that sense of isolation. Let's break it down and understand the emotional games they play. Are you ready for number 1? Projecting their insecurities on their victims. Narcissists are experts at deflecting blame. They project their insecurities and flaws onto you, making you feel like you're the problem. They might accuse you of being selfish when they're the ones being self-centered, or make you feel guilty for things that aren't even your fault. It's like a smoke and mirrors trick designed to distract you from their behavior and make you question your reality. As psychologist Dr. Craig Malkin explains in his book, Rethinking Narcissism, narcissism thrives in the fog of confusion. And when they project their issues onto you, it keeps you trapped in that fog. This projection isn't just about shifting blame. It's about isolating you emotionally. The narcissist wants to maintain control. If they can make you believe you're causing all the problems, you'll start questioning your self-worth and become more dependent on them. It's a cycle of emotional manipulation that leaves you feeling lost, confused, and isolated. Over time, you may even start doubting your perceptions and emotions. The victim feels like they're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to fix something that's not even their fault, which only deepens the sense of isolation. It's a cruel tactic, but it's what keeps the narcissist in power and their victims in emotional turmoil. Let's talk about number 2, chronic reassurance seeking. It can be exhausting when you're constantly trying to reassure someone, but no matter what you say, it's never enough. Narcissists have a habit of seeking endless validation from others, especially from their victims. They crave compliments, attention, and praise to boost their fragile self-esteem. But while they demand all this reassurance, they completely invalidate your feelings if you express your needs or concerns. They've set up a one-way street where only their emotions and desires matter. Life coach and author Dr. Laura Berman points out, a narcissist's need for validation is insatiable. It's like pouring water into a bottomless well. So when you're stuck in this cycle, it feels like you're always giving but never receiving. This dynamic leaves you feeling lost and isolated because, despite all your efforts, your own emotional needs are pushed aside. When you try to speak up, the narcissist might dismiss your feelings as unimportant or accuse you of being selfish. It's confusing because you may initially think you're failing, not realizing their behavior is causing the imbalance. You start questioning your own emotions and lose sight of your self-worth. You're giving all this energy to someone who's not giving anything back, leaving you feeling like you don't matter. Psychologist Dr. Sherry Campbell explains this as a toxic, emotionally abusive cycle, where your self-esteem gradually erodes, while the narcissist's need for attention never gets fulfilled. Let's move on to number 3. Dismissal of victims' achievements due to insecurities. When you accomplish something, you expect people to celebrate with you, especially those close to you. But with a narcissist, that celebration never happens. Instead, they'll either downplay your achievements or ignore them completely. Maybe they'll act uninterested or comment that makes you feel your success doesn't matter. It is because narcissists are incredibly insecure and they can't handle anyone else shining. As psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula explains, narcissists need to feel superior so they can't stand it when someone else gets attention or praise. So, when you succeed, it triggers their insecurities, and they react by making you feel small. This dismissal of your achievements can leave you feeling insignificant, like nothing you do is good enough. Over time, you question your worth and wonder if you're as successful or capable as you thought. It isolates you from your sense of pride and accomplishment, because the person who should be your support is actively minimizing your success. You might even feel guilty for feeling proud of yourself, which is exactly what the narcissist wants: control over your emotions. As psychologist Dr. Melanie Greenberg points out, by devaluing your successes, narcissists rob you of your sense of self-worth, leaving you isolated and questioning your place in the world. Now, let's continue to number 4. Encouraging dependency. Narcissists are good at making you feel like you can't live without them, especially when it comes to emotional support. They might start by making you feel like they're the only person who truly understands or appreciates you. Over time, this creates a dependency, where you rely on their approval to feel good about yourself. They might compliment you when it suits them or provide reassurance, but it's always on their terms. According to therapist Dr. Kristin Neff, narcissists feed off others' need for validation and use that to maintain control over them. So you start to feel like your self-worth is tied to what they think of you. It makes you emotionally dependent on them. This dependence can make you feel completely lost and helpless when the narcissist withholds their approval or attention. You start doubting your judgment and emotions, thinking only they can give you the necessary validation. Without it, you feel stuck and unable to move forward. It isolates you because you're constantly waiting for their approval, losing touch with your sense of self. Over time, this leaves you feeling trapped, unable to escape the cycle of needing them for emotional fulfillment. You shouldn't miss number 5. Promoting self-doubt. Narcissists are masters at making you question everything about yourself, especially your thoughts and feelings. They do this using sarcasm, backhanded compliments, or flat-out doubt-inducing comments. For example, they might say, "Are you sure that's what happened? I don't remember it that way." Or, "You always overthink things." These little jabs may seem harmless initially, but they chip away at your confidence over time. As psychotherapist Dr. Beverly Engel explains, narcissists undermine their victims' sense of reality to maintain control, making them feel uncertain and confused. You start doubting your memory, judgment, and worth because they've convinced you your perspective is wrong. This constant manipulation leads to emotional isolation because, without realizing it, you're no longer trusting your instincts. You begin to second-guess every decision and feel you can't rely on yourself. It's like you're trapped in your head, unable to find clarity because the narcissist has clouded your confidence. In her book, The Emotionally Abusive Relationship, Dr. Barbara Markway says, "When a person's self-doubt becomes chronic, it isolates them from their sense of inner truth and power. Narcissists thrive in this space because it keeps you dependent on them for answers, and they keep you feeling isolated and unsure of who you are." Are you still up for number 6? Exploiting vulnerabilities. Narcissists are experts at finding your weak spots and using them against you to manipulate or make you feel smaller. For example, they might bring up a past failure when trying to succeed or make you feel unworthy of love because of past mistakes. This kind of manipulation can leave you feeling emotionally exposed, like you're walking around with all your vulnerabilities on display for them to attack at any moment. Over time, it chips away at your self-worth and leaves you powerless. You become hyper-aware of your weaknesses, and every time you open up to the narcissist, it feels like they're using it to control you further. Dr. Shari Steins, a psychologist who specializes in narcissistic abuse, explains, "The narcissist's exploitation of your vulnerabilities makes you feel like you can't trust anyone, especially yourself. It creates emotional isolation, making you feel like you're the only one who sees these wounds and can't escape the manipulation." Finally, we're down to number 7, disguising control as care. Narcissists are good at making you believe that their controlling actions are signs of love or concern. They might say things like, "I'm just looking out for you," or "I only want what's best for you." But the truth is, their actions are all about maintaining control. For example, they might try to dictate who you spend time with or what you wear. On top of that, they make you feel guilty if you try to set boundaries. It's confusing because their behavior looks like care, making you question if they're looking out for you or controlling your every move. Dr. Susan Forward, author of Emotional Blackmail, explains, "They wrap their control in the guise of love, which makes it hard to see the manipulation until you're deeply entangled in it. This mix of love and control creates emotional chaos. You may feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, unsure whether you're doing something wrong or if they're just being overbearing. The constant confusion leaves you questioning your reality. It can leave you feeling lost because you don't know the line between their care and control. It's as if they've convinced you their manipulation is necessary for your well-being, and you begin to doubt your judgment. Psychologist Dr. Jennifer Freyd calls this psychological abuse, where the victim doubts their reality and stays trapped in manipulation. In the end, narcissists leave their victims feeling lost and isolated because they know precisely how to manipulate emotions, twist reality, and create confusion. They build up their victims only to tear them down. It's a way of gaining control and maintaining power, while making their victims question their worth and sanity. If you find yourself in a situation like this, it's important to remember, none of this is your fault. You deserve to feel secure, valued, and understood. Recognizing the signs is the first step in reclaiming your confidence and getting back on track. You don't have to stay stuck in their web. You can break free and rebuild your sense of self one step at a time.